Hey Team Toni, Coach Toni here. Welcome to your 14th MAPPLE. I have a small MAPPLE for you. So the title of today's MAPPLE is Conceptual and Procedural Ways to Process the Distributive Property. I have created this MAPPLE with educators in mind. Here are a few ways that you can help your students process the distributive property. These methods are not exactly novel, but they are my own ideas, which are, in technicality, inspired by the ideas of others. I credit whomever I've encountered in my math journey. Okay, so part 1, conceptual understanding, the goodie bag method. Here is the problem that we're going to conceptualize. 5 times 2x plus 3y in parentheses is equal to 10x plus 15y if the distributive property is applied correctly. However, the question always is, what does this mean? Why are they equal? What am I looking at? So here's a scenario I give to my students. I'm throwing a party and I'm going to invite my closest friends. And so the number of friends that I'm going to invite is 5. The material for each goodie bag is 2 lollipops and 3 candy bars. And if I want to make sure that all 5 of my guests get the same exact goodie bag, how do I figure out how much of each treat to get? So you have 2 options. Option number 1 would be get the materials for 1 bag and make the bag right away. Then you do that 4 times more. So then you would have 5 times total. So let's break down option number 1 mathematically. To get the materials for 1 bag, the first thing we're going to do is let X represent lollipops and let Y represent candy bars. So that means that we've got 2X and 3Y in 1 bag. Then we make the bag. And I like to tell my students that the bag is the parentheses. It kind of holds everything in, Then the next instruction is to do that 4 more times. So in total, you've done it 5 times. So that 5 on the outside is the how many times total. So now we have that first side of the equation that I showed you at the beginning of this MAPPLE. Okay, now there may be some situations why you would want to build each bag individually. Maybe you have only a specific amount of money each week, so you buy 1 bag and its supplies each week so that by the end of however many time or by the end of 5 weeks, you have enough. That's just one situation. There may be others. Hey, let's go to option now number 2. You get the materials for all the bags at the same time and make the bags later. So there's 2 lollipops in 1 bag. So if you want to get all of the lollipops, then you would want to get more lollipops. So you're going to get 5 sets of 2, which means you have to get 10 lollipops up front. And because we represented lollipops with the letter X, we have 10X. Now, we know that there are 3 candy bars that go in the bag, so we also need to get 5 sets of 3 candy bars. And so we know we'll have to get 15 candy bars. And since we called Y candy bars, then we know we've got 15Y. And we're buying all these materials together, so we need to combine them with some kind of AND symbol, and the AND symbol in mathematics is a plus sign. So now you see why both sides are equal. We are talking about the same situation, the same amount of supplies, but it's a different way to see the supplies, one or the other. Okay. Let's go to part 2, procedural understanding. The greet all of your elders method. So before I start, so many students, when they do the distributive property, don't distribute all the way into the parentheses. They always stop maybe at the first term inside the parentheses, and it causes a lot of problems and errors. So here's how I address it. Same situation. There's a party happening. Something's a little bit different this time. It's a family party. And in the family party, you have your elders, like your grandmother and your grandpa, and you have your cousins waiting for you to come in and go hang out and chill. So, what you want to do is bust right past your grandma and grandpa and go to your cousins, but that would make them mad. So, before they get mad, you know that you have to go say hi to grandpa, talk to him for a little bit. They stressed you out a little bit, so you left one hair behind. Then you talk to grandma. Once you finish that, you turn around, go chill with your cousins. Okay? Mandatory, because if not, they're going to call you back and get on you. So, how do we apply this to distributive property? This is a cultural thing, but I think it applies to pretty much most cultures of the students I teach, and maybe the students that you teach as well. Walking into a situation where you have to greet all of the elders in the room is important. You cannot forget anybody. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the left side of this equation and learn how to apply the distributive property using the scenario I just gave you. So if we look at this, the 5 is like the 2x is your grandpa and 3y is your grandma or any other elders you want to substitute with if it's culturally appropriate. Your aunt, you know. So you know that the 5 should get to the 2x and the 3y before it disappears into the back with the cousins to play. So you tell your students that they have to remember that the operation is multiplication, but that if they do 5 times 2x, then do 5 times 3y, they should get the correct answer of 10x plus 15y. And that's the greet all of your elders method. So that was the MAPPLE for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please use the hashtag MAPPLE to talk about it. And then you can like, comment, subscribe. You know my social media is always at PlayMathGrow. Visit www.PlayMathGrow.com to learn more. And if you have an idea for a MAPPLE or just want to chat, hit me up. learn@PlayMathGrow.com is my email. Okay? You know the deal. It's your turn. And this is typing extremely slowly. I apologize. Could you explain to a student how to process 7 times 3x plus 3y in parentheses? See you for your next MAPPLE. Coach Toni.